If you know anything about me, then you know that I am constantly on the hunt for the perfect travel backpack, which is why I'm so stoked that my friends over at Bagsmart sent me this. This is the Bagsmart Blast 28 to 38 liter backpack, and it might just be the perfect budget travel backpack for most of us. So let's check it out. What's up, my dude? Your friendly neighborhood Tony here, and welcome back to the Spare Tech Room, where I try to help you make better tech choices. Now, in full disclosure, Bagsmart did send me this backpack, and they are sponsoring this video, but everything that I say in here is going to be my personal opinions. So I'm going to tell you everything about this bag, how it works, all the different compartments that you have in here, and ultimately whether or not I think it's something worth you spending your money on. Then in a few weeks, I'm going to be going on a trip with this backpack for the first time. So if you want to see my thoughts of it after actually traveling with it, make sure you subscribe. And if at any point in this video you want to know more about the Bagsmart Blast, or if you want to pick one up for yourself, I'm going to link to it in the description box below. Using that link does help out the channel, so I really appreciate it. Also, Bagsmart gave me a 10% discount to pass on to you, so make sure you use that coupon code. To the top-down camera, let's check this thing out. All right, and here we are with the Bagsmart Blast. Again, this is a 28 liter to 38 liter bag, basically meaning that it's going to hold a ton of stuff, but also be able to compress down so that way you're not carrying a massive backpack with you day to day. And that kind of ties into one of the things for me that is most important when it comes to a proper travel backpack. You see, there are so many different ways that you can travel. You can carry a backpack with you, you can have a rolly suitcase, you can check a bag at the airport. And the way that I've found to be best as someone who's traveled to a number of different countries and travels several times every year is I like to have a carry-on bag, just a rolly bag that I carry with me that I can put in the overhead compartment on the plane, and then a personal item bag that I can bring with me and have under the seat in front of me on the plane, and then ultimately carry around with me when I get to my destination. And the trick there is to find a bag that is as big as possible while still fitting into the constraints of what the airlines consider as a personal item. Now that's gonna vary airline to airline. Some of the smaller European airlines have very, very strict bag requirements when it comes to personal items, but most airlines, especially most American Western airlines, are going to have very similar dimensions that they require for your personal item, and that is typically 18 inches tall by 14 inches wide and 8 inches deep. And this Bagsmart Blast falls perfectly within those parameters. So this is definitely gonna work as a personal item on most of the airlines that you would travel with. So right there, immediately a check mark in my good column. Now, the first thing you're gonna notice when you touch this bag is exactly how it feels and what kind of materials that it's made out of. And you might be able to notice here, there's a kind of ripstop nylon on the front here, and really that covers the entire bag. And this is gonna be really good both for water resistance especially, but also in case you do get a little nick or a tear anywhere in the fabric, it's gonna stop that tear from spreading. So it's not going to end up completely ruining your bag if you get a little scratch on it. Aside from that, on the very front here and also on the water bottle pockets on the side, you have this mesh kind of material, which is a little bit stretchy, not super stretchy though, but enough so that whatever you pack into these compartments is gonna be able to kind of expand a little bit and really kind of fit a ton in there. Another thing I should mention is that this bag comes in a number of different colors. This is another big pet peeve of mine when it comes to backpacks, especially travel backpacks, is most of the time they come exclusively in the color black, which is great. Black backpacks look really sleek and cool and everything, but if, again, you're like me and you live here in Florida, which for most of the year is effectively the surface of the sun, having a black backpack on you is horrible. So it's really nice that this comes in all different colors. I have kind of a camel color here. There's a really cool green and kind of this burnt orange as well. I'll throw those up on the screen here so you can see what those look like. 2 thumbs up for having an assortment of different colors. So okay, let's go ahead and walk around the entire bag because there are so many compartments on this thing. I hope I'm not gonna miss any, so I'll try to hit them all. And we'll just start right here on the front. So at the very front, again, you have this whole mesh panel here, which is really great. And there's a zipper up top that if you unzip, it has a little tassel on here as well, making it really easy to grab, but you unzip that, and inside there is this entire compartment that again stretches out. And this is really good for if you wanna throw something in here that maybe is wet, if you are going to the beach or something, you have a towel, maybe it rains and you have to throw your jacket in here, you can just throw in whatever you want. It's not gonna get mixed in with the inside of the bag. And it has this mesh compartment, which is breathable. So it's gonna be able to dry out and air out over time. But it doesn't have to be anything like that. You can really throw anything in this mesh pocket as kind of like a quick access. So that's really great. Then over on the side here, you have a kind of vertical pocket. So we'll unzip that. And that is another panel here that's behind this mesh panel, but again, still outside of the main compartment. And that runs all the way from the top here, all the way down to this bottom. And there's just a ton of space. It's kind of this big open cavernous space though. So there's no places to put like organizing little bits and pieces. You just kind of chuck everything into this. And what's cool about having the vertical pocket, you might think that it's a bit odd and that things are going to fall out of your backpack. But really, when you're wearing a backpack and you swing that bag around the side, this vertical pocket is facing upwards. So really anything that you throw in here is going to be super easy to access on the go very quickly without having to take your backpack off and setting it down. So that's really great if you're traveling, if you're, walking through a European city street and you want to just quickly get into your bag and grab something out of there. You've got that vertical pocket with a ton of space inside of it. Okay, moving on from there, we'll zip that closed and we'll talk about the zippers a little bit here because a lot of these zippers, this one in particular, is kind of this reverse coiled zipper. I don't know a ton about zippers, but this is pretty good quality. It moves very easily. It doesn't get caught up or anything like that. I do notice that none of them appear to be PU coated, which is not PU as in the smell, but polyurethane coated, which is just kind of an additional measure that bags will take to keep them water resistant. So that might be something you want to keep in mind. Although the material of the bag itself is water resistant, if you're in a heavy downpour or if you're doing some really intense water sports or what have you, this might not be the right bag for that. It will do fine though in kind of a typical drizzle or what have you. Moving along, before we get into this main compartment here, because that's what this horseshoe zipper is this is where you're gonna get into like your main compartment. Let's look around the rest of the outside of the bag. And along the top here, you have your handle, which is really good. It's actually got a little bit of cushion to it, which I like. So a little softer to grip and it's got enough space there to really get your hand underneath there. I mean, I have medium-sized hands and you can see there's just a ton of space. So if you have giant Andre the Giant mitts on you, I think you'll still be fine grabbing the handle here. Aside from that, below that is kind of a half moon zipper here. So if we open up this compartment, this kind of folds open and you've got really a ton of space in here. This is going to be, again, at the top of the backpack, so you can throw more quick access things in here. If you want to put your sunglasses in here or a battery pack or whatever you'd like, you have a bunch of space in here. There's also a zippered compartment on this panel that if you unzip is kind of like a mesh, a really easily see-through mesh. So you can throw things in here as well to keep them separated. If you have maybe cables or things that you don't want to get mixed up with the rest of the stuff in the bag, you just throw them in here and zip this closed. You also have these gussets on the side, which I don't know if you can see, but it keeps this from flapping all the way open, which is really nice, just a nice touch. So we'll close that up for now. Now over on this side, we have another handle, which is nice to grab. You got a little bit of minimal branding here. It says Blast here, just a little tag. There's also these compression straps, which are really great. You have compression straps all around the bag, 2 on one side, 2 on the other, and that's gonna help you cinch the bag down when you don't really have it packed out and you wanna be able to kind of keep it minimal. So you just tie those down, cinch it down. You can also use it if you're using this for more of a photography kind of bag. If you have a tripod, you can slip the legs into the compression strap to hold them into place. So that's just a little hack there that you can do. But that's on one side. You'll notice that also on this side, there's a tiny little hidden zipper that if we unzip, kind of gives you a compartment right in here. This is just a quick access, small compartment, not a water bottle compartment, but just something that you can throw a few things into. This might be a good spot for your battery pack actually, because then you can just have the cable running out of there, zip it up most of the way and have that right on your side. But that's on one side of the bag. On the other side, we have a water bottle pocket, which is also made out of that mesh material and is super stretchy. This thing is ridiculous. You can fit, I mean, pretty much any water bottle that I can think of in here, except for maybe a gallon. But that is a ton of stretch that you have there. It pops right back into place. And again, it's all mesh. So if there is any kind of water in here that gets loose, it's gonna evaporate right out. Also, of course, you have the compression straps on that side. One other thing you'll notice on the side of the bag here, which is kind of hard to see, but you'll notice these other almost hidden zippers that if you unzip, this is what expands the backpack. So it takes it from 28 liters all the way to 38 liters, which is absolutely insane. But if you're trying to do one bag travel, that's a great way to do it. You just pack everything away with it fully expanded. And then when you get to your destination, you take out your clothes and all the other stuff that you want to leave in your hotel room. cinch it back down to 28 liters, and you've got your day pack that you're gonna carry around with you. So that's really cool, just a zipper that runs all the way around the bag to expand it out for some additional volume. Then, before we go inside, we'll take a look at the back panel here, and there's a few things that I wanna point out. One, which I love, is another hidden pocket. And you'll see this will be, if you're wearing the backpack, it'll be on your right side, but there's a little zipper here that has a little zipper garage, a little hidden pocket here that you unzip. And in here, you can throw things that you want to keep safe. So if you have your passport or your wallet or a little bit of extra cash that you want to hide, you can tuck that right in there. It's going to be up against your back. So if you have anybody that's, trying to pickpocket you or anything like that, if you're walking around the crowded streets of Mumbai and you are worried about somebody just going and opening the back of your backpack and grabbing whatever's in there, you can hide those right in this pocket. And again, it'll be right up against your body, so no one's getting at that. Then also on the back here, there's so much to talk about. You've got these shoulder straps that are very comfy. Again, you've got that ripstop material, but underneath there's a mesh and a padding. These are also pretty wide too, which is very important when it comes to a backpack. You do not want thin or rather narrow straps, because those are going to dig into your shoulders and get really annoying after a while, especially with a 38-liter bag like this. If you're packing that out, that's going to just be painful after a while. But here you have these really wide straps that are going to fit over a broad portion of your shoulders. Also, of course, you have that mesh material both on the straps and on the bag itself, on the back part here. So when that's sitting on your back, it's going to help with evaporation. It's going to help with dissipating heat so that you don't end up with a super sweaty back at the end of the day. Also on these shoulder straps here, you have a sternum strap, which is really helpful, especially on a heavier bag or a bag that can be heavier if you really pack it out. This is going to be great. You just clip it across your chest, tighten it down a little bit, get it to the right tightness, and that's going to help take a lot of the weight off of your back and kind of distribute it better for you. So you've got that. It also has a little strap keeper here. So if you end up with a bunch of extra dangly strap on this, you can just use this to kind of keep everything in place. Also, these slide up and down so you can adjust whatever part is going to feel most comfortable for you, where that falls on your chest. And really cool here, this is great for traveling. Another thing that I will never go without when it comes to travel backpacks is a little luggage strap here. So you have this very simple kind of like seatbelt material strap that goes across the back here. And that's going to be really great for just sliding over the handle on your rolly luggage. So if you have that, if you're going through the airport and you don't want to have to carry it on your back the whole time, you just slide that right onto your other luggage and you roll it right through. Okay, so I think that's everything on the exterior of the bag. I know it's a lot, but let's go ahead and crack this bad boy open and see what we get on the inside. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to jump in and let you know that we recently crossed over 2,240 subscribers on this channel, which is absolutely insane. I'm literally just a dude in his spare bedroom talking about different things that he likes. And the fact that so many of you have been willing to subscribe to this channel is incredible. Now, I do have a massive goal for 2025 to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I have no clue if that's even possible, but if you enjoy this kind of video and you want to help out an independent creator, please consider subscribing. If this just isn't your thing, or if you are already subscribed, if you could also like this video or maybe just drop a comment down below for engagement, I'd really appreciate it. All right, let's get back to the video. And there are two different ways to open this bag, or rather two different main compartments, I would say. We'll start with the one on the back here, and that's going to open along the top, kind of like your typical backpack opening. So we just unzip that. It goes all the way down. Really, all the way down. And you can open this up like a book, except long ways, I guess. And this is where you're going to store kind of your tech stuff. So you have up top here your laptop and tablet compartment. It has this Velcro strap, and you can slide, a massive laptop in here. I have a 14-inch MacBook, and that fits in no problem. I feel like you can definitely fit a 16-inch in here, and it would be pretty secure. It's got a lot of padding here. Again, it's got this strap to hold it in place so you don't have to worry about it sliding out. And it's also really helpful when you're going through TSA. A lot of times, if you have a laptop in your bag, they make you take the laptop out. But if you have a bag that does this little magic trick, you just do that, flop it open, and you're good to go. You typically don't have to take your laptop out of the bag in that point. So you've got that. There's a second compartment here for a tablet or notebooks or whatever you want to throw in here as well, which is also secured by that same Velcro strap, so everything will stay exactly where you want it. Then on the other half here, we've got these little mesh pockets, which is really cool. There are these two big mesh pockets where you can put maybe a mouse, If you have like that Magic keyboard, or I have the Logitech MX keys, that fits perfectly in here as well. So you can get your mouse and keyboard right in there as well. Now this doesn't have a kind of like zipper or seal at the very top. So whatever you do put in there, you want to make sure that's not something that you're worried about, sliding at all. Still very handy to have. Let's close this up and we'll check out the actual main compartment of the entire bag. Okay, so now at the very front, we talked about it earlier, but there's this big horseshoe compartment here that we are going to unzip. And this is where you put all of your clothes, all of your bigger items, the things that you want to lug around. When you open that up, this is really cool. There's a few things in here that I really like. First off, it's a giant cavernous space here. So there's just so much room in here. And I appreciate that. A lot of times bags will try to overthink things. They'll put a bunch of different sections and compartments, and then ultimately you're just trying to fit a large volume of things. You're trying to fit a bunch of clothes or packing cubes or what have you. And so this just gives you a big open space that you can sort out however you'd like. Then you have this strap here, which you can buckle down and again, really cinch down if you end up having to try to shove as much as you can in here. Maybe you've gone on vacation and you're coming home with more than you left with and you really got to find a way to fit it all in there. This is going to help you strap that down, cinch it down, and get everything compressed inside. Also, on the other side here, on this panel, this is made out of another water-resistant material. So you can unzip this and you have a pocket here where you can throw any items that you might be afraid of leaking. So if you have your shampoos and your conditioners and your, liquid soaps and your face wash and your sunscreen, all that stuff, you can throw that in here. It's going to be way more secure and have much less risk of leaking all over your stuff that's inside your bag. So I love that touch. That's so cool. And actually, I just remembered there is one other secret pocket in this backpack that I totally forgot about, but I'm going to show you it right now. And this is another really cool thing. So we've got this main compartment. You may have noticed this and you're thinking, what is this flappy bit that's inside this bag? Well, my friend, if you go to the bottom of the bag, you'll see that there are a couple of little holes here. And you're wondering, what are these holes for? Are these supposed to clamp onto something? What's that all about? Well, these are kind of for breathing, because the things you might stick in here, maybe are things that might get a little stinky, such as shoes. So right here, you unzip this whole bottom of the bag, flap this down, and you've got a giant, absolutely insane compartment in here. I mean, I could stick my whole head in there, no problem. I won't, but I could. And you could just throw shoes in there or dirty clothes. Maybe you're traveling and you want to keep all your clean clothes in this compartment. And as you wear them, you transfer them to your dirty clothes and it still takes up the exact same space. So you don't have to worry about, oh, if I pack out my dirty clothes in here, how am I going to fit my clean clothes? You can keep them perfectly separated and they're not going to, mess with each other. You're not going to get the smell of your dirty clothes on your clean clothes or anything like that. So it is incredible. Bagsmart really has thought of everything when it comes to this backpack. And if I'm being honest, at the price this comes in at, it's absolutely insane that they were able to squeeze in all of this into this one bag. That's another one of my main gripes when it comes to picking out a perfect travel backpack. I talked about a few of the things that I look for, but another thing I look for is I don't want to pay a ton of money. I don't want to have to spend a whole lot of cash on a backpack that I'm going to use a few times throughout the year. And some of these travel backpacks cost north of $300, which is absolutely insane for me. So the fact that Bagsmart was able to make this bag with all of the tech and pockets and just add-on features that it has, and it's coming in at the price that it's coming in at, is incredible. Honestly, if you're looking for a really great travel backpack for under $100, this is very tough to beat. Again, if you want to check out the Bagsmart Blast 28 to 38 liter backpack, I am going to link to it in the description box below. Don't forget that viewers of the Spare Tech Room do get an additional 10% off the price of that bag. I will include that coupon code in the description box below as well. So jump down there and check that out. And let us all know your thoughts in the comments. Have you tried any of the Bagsmart backpacks so far? If so, what have you thought about them? I really do believe that they are one of, if not the best budget backpack company out there right now. But whatever you think, let me know down there. If you have any questions, I'll also try to answer those for you. And if you want to see more videos just like this, make sure you subscribe. That way, I can see you next time in the Spare Tech Room. Be good.